Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Gabriel Jesus, the Brazilian. Put your hand up if you don't know that much about him. Now, I've done the research. Obviously, it is the United Stand and we want to bring it all to you, all the information. If you do know anything about him, fair play. Just turned 19 in April. Can play right midfield or centre forward. He plays for Palmeiras in Brazil. He scored 20 goals in 60 games. And his key attributes, typically for a Brazilian, great ball control, agility, very, very quick. Hard working, which is very, very nice to know as well. Size-wise, they call him quite small, but actually, and there's something I want to read out to you here, so I want to get this right. 5'9", not too bad. I've got massive concerns about this lad, which I'll come to in a moment, and I'll obviously get commenting on what your thoughts are. But Manchester United apparently tabled a £15 million bid for him in the last 24 hours. That's going around the media. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I will be talking about Mbolo in a minute. For those of you who are desperate to get your claws in, I will be talking about him in a minute. But we're talking Gabriel Jesus. My concerns about him, well, there's one of two really. There's reports in relation to his contract that 5 clubs can buy him for £16.7 million. That's Manchester United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and PSG. 5 biggest clubs in the world by chance. And everybody else, including also brands like Man City, they've got to play 27.4. Very, very weird. Whether that's a positive or a negative, I don't know. If we get the £16.7 million bid accepted, does that mean they've got to accept it and we get into the contract negotiations? Or do they go with the higher Man City bid of 27.4? Or do Barcelona, as is expected, or they are sniffing around, do they swoop in and take him now that we've shown an interest? Who knows? My concerns with him are quite simple. That yeah, you can do your YouTube clips. I don't watch Brazilian football. I've got no idea whether he's the next Robinho or the next Ronaldo. But I do have concerns about Brazilians, especially at Manchester United. We don't have a great track record. Having said that, we've never really brought top Brazilians in, have we? You know, the likes of Anderson and Kleberson, with all due respect. But I just worry from what I've seen of him, and it is, I'm going to put my hands up and say a lot of it is YouTube clips and a lot of it is just reading around, watching highlights of games for half an hour here and there. It just looks lightweight. Nothing wrong with that necessarily. You know, Coutinho's done reasonably well for Liverpool as a Brazilian in the Premier League, as has Oscar. But this lad's more of a winger and he looks a bit lightweight, and would he settle into the Premier League? Are we just getting exciting because it's another player that we're linked to? But realistically, we do not know much about him. I want to know what you think. Obviously, that's why we do it. Always honesty on the United Stand. My honest opinion is I'm slightly concerned about this. I'm more comfortable with the likes of Mkhitaryan, even Mbolo, which I'll speak in a minute, and Zlatan. You know, players that you've seen quite a lot of, and you sort of get a grasp of what sort of player they are. It's very hard to know what this sort of player is. He could be a gem, or it could just be a load of nonsense anyway. But yeah, I do have my concerns about him. Gabriel Barbosa, same age, actually played for Brazil and you know, touted as being a really good goal scorer. I'd be more excited about that, even though I don't really know a hell of a lot more about him. But Gabriel Jesus, there we are. Do your research on him. We've got an article up on the website, but in reality, that's what you're getting with him. These are his traits. He's touted as being one of the Brazil stars of the future. Hard working is nice to know. Quick, very, very skillful, very right. Well, he's good off his left foot from what I've seen, but he's touted as right-footed. 20 goals in 60 games for Palmeiras isn't to be sniffed at for somebody who's only just turned 19. So. And it's a tough, you know, we talk about, maybe I'm being a bit of a disservice saying, oh, you know, I worry about his physicality, because the Brazilian league is physical. So it's very hard and, you know, very, very rough. And he's obviously done well there. So maybe a bit disservice, but at some point we've got to buy a Brazilian that's going to work at Manchester United. There's no reason why it shouldn't do. And maybe there's something in this. Maybe there is. Personally, I'd rather Mbolo. Here we go. Start digging my own grave now. Not literally. I like Mbolo. I know he's been really raw in the Euros. I accept that. But so's Zlatan, so's Ronaldo. I said Mbolo was really raw. He needs to improve on his touch and obviously his decision making. But I think he's going to be a star of the future. And if he is going to Schalke, then that is, you know, I'm quite surprised by that. Nothing's official yet. I still think it's a done deal. And when it isn't, I'll apologise for it. But, you know, your information you get isn't always right. We were spot on about Bailly. We were spot on about Van Gaal being sacked. And maybe we're going to be wrong about Mbolo. But Name me somebody who gets it right all the time. My reading into the Embolo thing is that Mourinho had identified him as a player that he wants to bring to Manchester United. I don't think he can 100% offer him first team football. I'm guessing at that, and maybe Schalke can. But the reality that Schalke are getting him for £15 million, and we apparently had a £90 million bid thrown out, is just very weird. It's very weird, and it reads to me that Manchester United have either dithered again and Mourinho is getting to know what Woodward's all about, or we've pulled out the deal. I can't see why we've pulled out the deal, because it was so advanced, the information we were getting, that why would you pull out just because of a couple of bad Euros? I think there's been a breakdown in something, and maybe it's not that we can't offer him first team football and Schalke can, or more likely, as with Renato Sanchez, as Bayern Munich admitted, Manchester United should have got that deal done. They dithered, we swooped in quickly. That may be exactly what another German team's done in Schalke with the Embolo deal. And that's nothing to do with having bad sources, that's nothing to do with Mourinho. This is to do with Woodward. He's still heavily involved in deals. And I tell you what, if we are in for Gabriel Jesus and he does turn out to be a really good signing for somebody, what are the chances are that we'll dither on this? The sooner they stop getting Woodward to deal with Manchester United transfers, the better. Regardless of the fact that we've got Mourinho in, he needs to take control of the transfers. We've got littered every summer, we have it. As far back as Fabregas 2 years ago, Ramos last year's, there's been Pedro. I mean, we dodged the bullet with Pedro, no doubt about it, but we were in for him and we dithered. And we dithered with Renato Sanchez. It's getting too regular now, and I'm disappointed. I know a lot of people are saying they don't want Embolo because he's had a poor Euros. I've seen a little bit more of him than the Euros, and he's a definite star of the future. And mark my words, again, I know he wasn't a Manchester United player, but like Renato Sanchez, they were there to be done. Like Paul Pogba, these players in a couple of years' time will be going, we had a chance to get them, and look at them now, they're world class. And I truly believe that about Embolo. I don't know what's going on. The deal was there to be done. It was done. And if we've dithered on it again, then it's a bit like Renato Sanchez, because I said that as well. That was there to be done. It was nearly done in January, and we've dithered on negotiation. And Bayern Munich came in, like Rummenigge said. We swooped in very quick because Manchester United dithered, and we're dithering too much, and it's really frustrating. Anyway, it was meant to be about Gabriel Jesus. Let's see what becomes of it. He looks like a decent player. I do have concerns about Brazilians. Get commenting below. Get commenting below. Give us your thoughts. But interesting times for Manchester United. But I do have worries about Woodward. He just dithers. He dithers all the time.